course, with my excellent supervision. So thanks all for weaving through this construction. It was quite an endeavor. It shows true grit and determination to help celebrate Aunt Marcia's life. I'll say a few words and then open the floor to anybody else who wants to say some things about Marcia. Some have notes and emails that they'd like to read, and I'd encourage you to do so when there's lulls and any live remembrances that might be coming up. We have a real long lull in how things go. I'd invite the choir to get up and sing. I see there are quite a few choir members here I met coming in. So as you know, Aunt Marcia was very welcoming and generous. For me and my family, she always allowed us to stay at her house when we made our numerous trips to Oklahoma. However, when we were up there, she always had a few honeydews. Just more than happy to help with, but there's always something for me to do. We changed out the mailbox for her. We changed out the outside lights so she could see a little bit better. We changed I put in a weather station for her and several other things. Just as much as we could do to help her, because she's so generous to us as our small tokens of giving back. She treated my stepchild as a granddaughter and my wife as a daughter. I mean, she was very generous and welcoming to them. She always asked if she could help or pay for any activities or things we're planning to do. We tried to refuse, but she'd always insist on paying it. So oftentimes we had to sneak things in to give them to her because she'd insist on paying for them if not. She was devoted to her one of her successive pets. As you all know, she was, and they really ruled the house. I mean, they controlled everything that went on in that house. But she loved to see them running around and petting them. I remember many nights, or days and nights, sitting in her breakfast room, morning and night, talking about our own lives, about current events, and all the time the dogs jumping up in her laps and mine. So we had the succession of Daisies and Annabelle all taking care of things. And there's a picture of Daisy over there. She always encouraged me to follow my heart and look for the positive side of people and events, the so-called silver lining. That's something I'll remember of her. It was evident last week that she focused on others because we were looking through her pictures to try to find, mementos and things that we could present here. And there are plenty of pictures, but very few of her. So we gathered that, well, it must be that she was the one taking pictures for everyone else. And she was rarely in the pictures, but we found a few. Anyway, I'll truly miss her, and I'll retain very, very fond memories throughout my life of all our memories. So now, I'll cede the floor and allow anyone else who wants to speak up and provide their memories of Aunt Marcia. And thank you again for coming. So who's next?
Another person in my life, because she kept the family together at a time when we needed to be kept together. And she was never took credit for it, but she was the glue. So I'm very grateful to her for that. But in addition to that, I really loved her because she was my sister.
And the dogs. And I can tell you, Daisy too was not the nicest dog. Daisy was very demanding and got underfoot and caused her to trip. And when she wanted dinner, it was, by God, I have to eat now, and if not, I will snarl and bite. But Annabelle, she was a rescue dog, and she just adored Aunt Marcia. And yeah, she needed to be trained, and she had a lot of, we recognize how bad she was, but she just adored her. And when she first got her, I know Aunt Marcia had her misgivings. She's not a poodle, she's not a Daisy. But later on, as they lived together, she said that Annabelle was so much nicer than Daisy and loved her so much more. She was never demanding. She sat there quietly waiting to be fed. And I think in her final years, it was good for her to have somebody that loved her so much and appreciated her. So just wanted to make sure everybody
Connecticut. And Marcia, of course, had been my aunt my whole life, but we didn't see her a whole lot because she lived in Oklahoma and we lived in Connecticut, and they would come out and visit occasionally, but not terribly often. So when I came out to OU, she and George were the most amazingly welcoming and warm and generous people you can ever imagine. I know that's no surprise to any of you. And of course, from childhood on, Uncle George was like the greatest thing that ever happened, as you all know, especially to a kid. And so just being able to spend a lot of time with them was so great. I lived in Cross Center on campus, and if you all know that, it had no air conditioning, and it was like the worst dorm ever. And so I spent a lot of time on Whispering Pines because they had air conditioning and a washer and dryer and food. So I was, every Sunday I went over there and I did my laundry and I ate dinner with them Sunday night. And then Monday I had a standing invitation to lunch at the faculty club in the Union, and ate there sometimes because it was so much better than couch cafeteria. Wednesday night I had a standing invitation to go to the Greek house for gyros, which I still to this day love to do. Every day of the week they had a routine, and like on Tuesdays they had pimento cheese sandwiches with green pepper slices at home for lunch. I mean, I remember it so well because it was, you knew exactly what they were doing every day of the week. And they invited me to come to every bit of it. And I did, because I loved them so much and they were so great to be around. And so all 4 years I was at OU, they were like surrogate parents to me. I got to drive George's cool Jeep and the 240Z, if you remember that car, because I didn't have a car, and they were so, I mean, anything, they were so generous. Remember Amsbachers? Anything I wanted at Amsbachers, just put it on our bill, just, you know, they were the best. And I am forever grateful to how amazing they were to me as sort of a lost teenager. I just lost my mother, and it was a hard time in my life, so they were amazing to me. And then just through all my adulthood, I live here in Oklahoma, so I, you know, spent holidays all the time with Marcia and George, of course, before he died. And so she was a very special person. My daughter was born on her 70th birthday, my daughter Chloe, and so Marcia always called her natal mate. And I don't know if you want to say something, Chloe. You're welcome to, about that, about spending every single birthday of your life with her. Okay. 19 straight years they celebrated their birthday together on June the 30th. And so this year would be Miss Chloe's 20th and Marcia's 70th. And so today was actually, sorry, what did I say?
How's your math? 90.
It's so bad. I was a French major, what can I say? There was no math involved. Anyway, today was the date we had chosen to have her 90th birthday party. And so that's why this is happening today. And that's why it's a celebration of her life, because that's what it was intended to be. And yes, that last week when Lisa and I were with her before she died, and she just over and over, I just want to live to be 90. Yeah. And she would say to the doctor, what can you do to make sure I live till I'm 90? You know, it was so important to her. But I'm so delighted to hear she had such a great 89. Yeah, that's wonderful. Great. So this is her 90th birthday. You are actually attending her 90th birthday party. So now I'm going to read this.
A carload of boys had chased a carload of girls down to, and Clement Drive was a dead-end street. And then the story, the way I always heard it, was that the Goodmans and the Smiths had come over for a drink. But Marcia we grew up pretty much without any living grandparents, and my two brothers and I, and they would have been here today if they could. And Marcia was very much in the role of a grandmother, I think, to us, just always taking care of us and frequently at the house and giving us little things and remembering us. And she was a huge George too, and my brother Malcolm now owns the cabin that the Goodmans and Marcias shared in Wyoming. And he will be up there this summer, where we scattered George's ashes a number of years ago, and he has agreed to scatter Marcia's ashes because that's where she wanted to be too. So yeah, we just all